everybody, from beautiful Smithfield, Rhode Island. It is a massive game in the USL Championship tonight. From a sold-out Burns Stadium, it is Rhode Island FC taking on Hartford Athletic, presented by Centerville Bank. Sean St. Jacques and the Manchester United legend Gary Bailey here with you. This rivalry in its second installment has a ton riding on it. Rhode Island are currently sitting in the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. Hartford trying to get back within striking distance if they can beat Rhode Island on the road today. And Gary, the first time these two met, it ended in a draw in Hartford earlier in the season.
Yeah, early goal from Mark Doyle really gave Rhode Island the impetus away from home. You wondered, could they go on and take all 3 points? But they fought back to Hartford. There's Ribeiro just asking what's happening, because that was in the 4th minute. Hardly got going, but they fought back, did ever so well. Got an equalizer from Joe Farrell in the 24th minute, and then it sort of became a stalemate after that.
Since the last meeting, these two teams have gone in opposite directions. Rhode Island put together a franchise record unbeaten run, and Hartford have been trying to find themselves.
Well, look at the goals for 22 for Rhode Island. They've really come together under Conu Smith, but for Brendan Burke, he's struggling to get goals from what should be and is a very talented forward line. Just 8 goals in the same period compared to Rhode Island's 22.
We're excited to see how this one plays out, because both teams have very strong attacking talent. Clay Holstead's had a really good season for Conu Smith's bunch.
Yeah, got the equalizer against Detroit 2 games ago. 93rd minute popped up. What a crucial goal that was there. And great striker of the ball from outside the box, something that Hartford will have to keep an eye on.
On the other side of things for Hartford, Brendan Burke will be hoping that Mamadou Jang could have a really impressive game tonight.
He looks a fantastic player, scored a goal against Birmingham, won the penalty that got them the equalizer, just 20 years of age, but fantastic physique, big, tall player. He could be the star player who gets them into the playoffs if he keeps up his current form.
This is certainly becoming the fastest growing rivalry, maybe in all of American soccer. It's got even more juice behind it tonight, because there's massive playoff implications on the outcome of this one. It is round 2 between Rhode Island and Hartford at a packed Burns Stadium. You won't want to miss it. The kickoff is next.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation: you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care, with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Hey Providence, we're Breeze Airways, and we offer non-stop flights from Rhode Island's T.F. Green International Airport. We're redefining what it means to fly up front. This one's for you. Introducing Breeze Ascent, the newest, nicest way to fly. It's seriously comfortable, satisfying, and affordable. Book today at flybreeze.com and experience the nicest way to travel. Breeze Airways, seriously nice.
At Centerville Bank, we're rooting for your progress. From the everyday moments to the challenges you overcome, the little victories, and the big wins. Because your progress is our purpose. Centerville Bank, progress on purpose.
History is made in Rhode Island.
Congratulations, Rhode Island FC, for achieving the dream and making this a reality.
Rhode Island FC, the Ocean State's only professional soccer team, has kicked off its historic inaugural season.
This is going to be a spectacle to enjoy.
Rhode Island on the board!
Family 4-packs are now available starting at just $20 per person. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the action. Get your tickets today.
The future is bright for Rhode Island FC.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you, moments away from kicking this one off at Burns Stadium in Smithfield, Rhode Island. Lots of Rhode Island fans here, but Hartford Athletic have made the hour-and-a-half trip to get some fans here as well. Let's dive into the lineups, and Gary, we begin with Cano Smith and a bunch of changes.
Yes, 7 in total. It's actually easier to tell you who's still in the team, and the back three of Nadase, Yao, and Stoneman, and Doyle remains. Otherwise, you get the sense that these players are rested for the last match. They've been brought back because this is a massive match for both clubs. Koke Vegas, of course, in goals. The other players that have been brought back in, the other 6, all got some minutes in the last game.
For Brendan Burke's Hartford Athletic, they haven't had a road win since the opening match of the season. This is the 11 that'll hope to change that.
Yep, 4 changes to that team that drew at Birmingham. Yunus Budadi comes in because Joey Aponono has gone back to his old club, or the club he was on loan from, FC Cincinnati. Danny Barrera in, Anderson Asiedu, and the exciting Mamadou Jang up front. Marcus Epps, Marlon Heston, and Emmanuel Somalia all dropped to the bench.
Now, we talked about this man earlier, Mamadou Jang, a big reason why Hartford were able to come back from 2 goals down to get a point at Birmingham. But Hartford are still in search of their 2nd road win of the season. Rhode Island, if you can believe it, have also struggled to pick up home wins in their inaugural campaign, but they've gotten some draws along the way against some of the top teams. And now with big opposition coming in tonight, they're hoping to do it against their arch rivals. It's a sold-out Byrne Stadium in Smithfield, Rhode Island. We can't wait to see how round 2 of this fierce rivalry plays out. For Rhode Island, they're hoping to go 10 points clear of Hartford for that last playoff spot. Hartford want to cut that down to 4 as we get close to the stretch run towards the Eastern Conference playoffs in the USL Championship. The derby begins here in Rhode Island. Joshua Encarnacion is our head official, and this highly anticipated rematch is off and running. Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey, our entire crew, we can't wait to see how this one plays out. Rhode Island coming off a defeat against Indy last time out after a wonderful run under Cano Smith of 8 unbeaten before that, a club record in their inaugural season. Hartford are 3 in a row unbeaten and came back to get a big point at Birmingham last time out, so they'll feel they have some momentum coming into this Rhode Island rematch.
Yeah, and I guess they will. That point at Birmingham was their first point in 9 away games. As you mentioned, they won their opening away game. Nothing since then, just loss after loss on the road. You just think, you know, if you get a point on the road against Birmingham, suddenly the confidence is up. You believe you can go to bigger and better things. And with this young man, Mamadou Jang, up front, who got the 1 goal against Birmingham and won the penalty, anything is possible.
Hartford looking for the perfect start. Pass is going to go out of play, and Koke Vegas will set up a goal kick. Brendan Burke wanted Hartford to get off to a quick start and be the aggressors.
I think both teams would love to get off to a good start. It helps so much in this atmosphere. Brendan Burke did say he wanted to quieten the crowd. Well, the best way to do that is obviously to score against them. But he was saying that, you know, throughout this season, there's been 2 or 3 players who performed on the day, but there's been so many individual errors. Said he wants a full team performance. He wants every player to stand up and be counted, everyone to, you know, avoid making silly mistakes. It's plagued them all season.
Well, that nearly bounced in behind. Well, Fuson trying to make some space in the attacking third, and then Michi Galina, who's certainly going to be important for Hartford tonight, is able to win a throw-in for the visitors. Vegas gets on the end of that ball in behind. A chance to look at the health report for both teams presented by Ortho Rhode Island, the official orthopedic partner and team physicians of RIFC. Learn more at orthopedicsri.com. Shapiro, Thompson, and Anking, some of the notables there. Hartford, Brendan Burke said they've been losing players more due to trades than injuries this season. So nothing as far as they're concerned, but it is a much smaller squad, certainly than a month or 2 ago.
Yeah, Aponono definitely is a big loss, going back to FC Cincinnati this week, I think. Very recently, anyway.
Hartford could be in here. That was a chance to play it centrally for Danny Barrera. Yunus Budadi tried to play that into the middle. Hartford will get a corner. Of course, Budadi came back to Hartford from Indy in the trade that sent Romario Williams to Indy 11. Just an example of one of the moves that Hartford's made this season. Corner kick opportunity for Danny Barrera, who's just been a cornerstone piece for Hartford Athletic his entire career. Played well against Birmingham last time out. Brendan Burke was talking to us about that. And his ball into the middle is headed towards the edge of the penalty area. Albert Dikwa helps it along. It's a chance here for Rhode Island to break. It stood up in the end by the aforementioned Ingalina. This is Grant Stoneman. Brief chance there for Rhode Island to cross. They think better of it. Stoneman back on it. Near side, that was Turnbull. Into the middle. Chance to take a shot. Oh, a cross into the middle. And a collision. And on Ribeiro colliding. And it looks like it ricocheted out of play. Might have been Albert Dikwa also on the end of that. They're both slow to get up here. They might have to be looked after. Another look at it here.
It's a lovely ball in from Turnbull, isn't it? Deep, it's got pace, it's got swerve on it. Gets brought down here perfectly and put right into the danger area, and Dikwa gets on the end of it. I think the keeper puts him off because he gets to the ball first. Have a look, he makes contact there. Maybe had half an eye on Ribeiro, because that's a great chance to tap that into an open net. Ribeiro risking body to just put off Albert Dikwa and ensure they don't concede in these first few minutes.
Ribeiro is top 10 in the USL Championship with 56 saves coming into the night. Like you said, Gary was able to put off Albert Dikwa just enough from scoring the opening goal. Now the concern is his health at the moment.
Those are the sort of opportunities I think Dikwa would have scored more of last year with Pittsburgh. Just struggled to get himself going this year. 6 goals, but compared to what was it, 20 plus minus last season through the entire season, golden boot, those opportunities he was sticking in the back of the net. Didn't quite happen there, but of course he might get plenty more chances in this match.
Yeah, he had 20 goals, like you said, Gary, to win the golden boot last year, but of course, Nick Marcanic's already got that, and we're in the month of August. That's another amazing stat of this USL Championship season.
He has been so good, Nick Marcanic, as has Charleston Battery once again, as they were last season. Brandenburg wishing for that sort of form. He was so good at Colorado Springs switchbacks, had 2 fantastic seasons there, went up to work in MLS and has come back to run Hartford and try and get them back on the winning track. And it looked like at first 4 or 5 games of the season, you're thinking Brandenburg's doing his magic, but since then they've just lost momentum. They haven't lost the fans. Look at that lot there that have traveled, what is it, 80 miles or so?
Yeah, about an hour and a half to get here for those Hartford supporters. Brandenburg was hoping that they'd turn up in numbers. They did not disappoint the Hartford Athletic fans.
We were just saying beforehand, it starts to feel more like a European soccer match when you get this local rivalry. Fans can get in a bus and a car and go down the road the 80 miles and support their team. Just love the atmosphere before the game, and obviously right here during the game, it could be a fantastic vibe. Sure, it is a fantastic vibe there at Burns Stadium.
And to your point earlier about the struggles that this Hartford team have gone through this season, Brendan Burke had a couple of things that he brought up. So we can't rely on 2 or 3 guys to win games. He said we're stabilizing a bit, but we've been shooting ourselves in the foot at times and just haven't had results on the road. He said that's important. We have not been able to put that together. He said there's been concentration issues, just mistakes here and there. They've been trying to clean those kind of things up as the season's moved along. Now they're 3 unbeaten and hoping that this could maybe be the foundation of a run that could get Hartford back to the playoffs. They haven't been there since 2020.
Wow. Well, 13 games to go, including this one, so their time is beginning to run out. I think as a coach, you always look at teams that struggle away from home and you question character, because it is a little bit more difficult getting on the road, traveling. You've got fans, having a go at you the whole time. And if you can't get results, and it happens game after game as it has with Hartford, you do start to ask the players, are you really up to it? Are you really committed to the cause or not?
Of course, Rhode Island have had some struggles winning here this season, just the 2 wins, but That's mostly because they drew so many games here early in the season, and to be fair, against some really, really tough teams as well.
Yeah, they have struggled a bit at home, but they've had some fantastic wins on the road. What about the one at Lewis City? Who beats Lewis City 5-2 at Lynn Family Stadium? But it is interesting that Rhode Island hold the second worst home record in the Eastern Conference, and Hartford own the second worst away record. So as we were saying earlier, something's got to give somewhere.
No question about that. Nice ball played up ahead. Dequa out to this near side. It's played back across, and the offside flag is up as Harivo arrived inside the penalty area. That was another close chance, and well, it gives us a chance as well to go through what both teams need to do to build a win today, presented by Go Fix It. And Gary, you talked about, of course, what we mentioned earlier, not relying on 2 or 3 guys for Hartford, but also the transitional game, how important that's going to be tonight.
Yeah, Connor Smith saying they have electric attacking players, and of course he means Amishi and Galina, Deshane Beckford, so quick. So you've got to be sharp when Hartford are in transition, and for Hartford, as we said earlier, so often Brendan Burke was saying we've had 2 or 3 players playing well, but we need a whole team putting in a performance here today.
That was Clay Holstead stepping in. It ricochets out of play. Jay Quizera will take the throw for Rhode Island. Oh, it was a decent ball as well. Nearly got into the penalty area. Beverly Makangila got a touch onto it for Hartford. Barrera, feather touch up ahead. It's not quite able to continue on there for Deshane Beckford, but Hartford get a throw. Galina, beaten to it by Turnbull. Turnbull continued his run and wins Rhode Island a free kick. They're going to take it quickly to try to catch Hartford out. It's curled into the middle of the penalty area. It goes out of play eventually for a Hartford throw.
I think there's pressure here from Rhode Island. Hartford is sort of struggling a little bit to get going. They're again lost possession. So very good midfield that Rhode Island have. A lot of MLS experience, but here's a chance for a counter-attack.
That was great play by Jang to release Beckford down this far side. We know how good Deshane Beckford can be in the open field, and Hartford will get a throw-in deep in Rhode Island's end.
Well, that's that quick transition that Connor Smith was worried about, and what Hartford are very good at, although we haven't seen enough of it from them this season.
Again, that's why this game is so important. Rhode Island have a chance to go 10 points clear of Hartford for the final playoff spot if they get all 3 points tonight. Hartford have a chance to cut it down to 4. About a dozen games left for most teams. That would be a huge bit of momentum for Brendan Burke's side, and that's why this is a classic 6-pointer. And of course, in the early history of the rivalry, by far the most important game these two have played against each other.
I was just talking a moment or two ago about the midfield. I just think Rhode Island's midfield, Turnbull on the one wing-back position on the right, Clay Holstead, Zach Harivo, Jay Quizera, Noah Fuson, even. They've all got, almost all of them have got MLS experience. I think that's where Hartford are going to struggle. This man's got a massive role to play for Hartford today, Danny Barrera.
From the set piece, Barrera's going to play it square. And then the cross is going to go to this near side. Is going to stay in. No, it's not. Anderson Asiadu tried to keep it in play. Rhode Island FC is now accepting priority deposits for the 2025 season in the new stadium. Scan the QR code. Go to RhodeIslandFC.com to secure your seats now. A lot more on that, by the way, at halftime. The progress on Rhode Island's 2025 stadium. That'll be their home moving forward. Hartford back on the attack. Hodge up ahead. We'll get it back on the near side. Jordan Scarlett spreads it out to this far side. Younes Boudadi. Beckford. He's going to lose out in the end after good defensive work from Frank Nodarse. Just in front of Brendan Burke. Multiple Hartford players and alongside Brendan Burke spoke to the media this week about how excited they were to come to Rhode Island and participate in what's already turning into a great rivalry for this league and for this area as well. And Brendan Burke probably said it best: proximity makes rivalries, and both coaches could be a part of this rivalry for quite some time to come.
I think he said he grew up in the area, Brendan Burke, and Connor Smith played in the area, so they both actually have emotional connections to this rivalry.
Lovely ball, spooned out to the outside. Can Rhode Island build from here? Lovely cutback. It's played for a shot. Fuson has his attempt blocked. Harivo tried to place it right back into the penalty area. It goes out of play.
Yeah, good build-up from the home side here, just probing, cuts inside to the box. Now they've got chance. Fuson, yeah, his left foot shot is blocked, but the moment you start getting in that box and you've got chance to shoot on target, and you're doing the right things, and you see more of that at the moment from Rhode Island than Hartford, which again, for me, what concerns me from a Hartford perspective is just, can they control the match in the midfield? Can they create the sort of chances that we've seen from Rhode Island? They've had a few balls whipped into the box, and but for that man there in red, Henan Ribeiro, they probably would be 1-0 up already. Dick would get into the ball first 6, or not even 6-4 yards out. But the goalkeeper just throwing his body at it and putting Dikwa off.
Asiadu. It's the first really hard challenge of the derby. It's going to go Hartford's way, and Zach Harivo's been summoned by the referee.
I think he wins the ball. Does he catch the player afterwards? These days, it's not enough just to win the ball. It used to be, but it's not anymore. You have to be in a controlled fashion that you win the ball. And that there, foot up, that's a difficult one. I mean, if you ever look at the wording the referees use, it's a yellow card if you act with disregard for the opponent. So by that, you can win the ball, but if your follow-through puts the opponent in danger, that's potentially a yellow card. So you can understand why referees blow those sort of tackles. That those who watched football 5-10 years ago would say that's a fair tackle, but not these days.
Looks like it was just a talking to Harivo. As Beckford controls that. Barrera was harried. Gives it right back. As I tell you to feel the heartbeat of Rhode Island FC with RIFC Pulse. Scan the QR code or text 401-249-4857 to stay in the loop on all things Rhode Island FC and get text alerts. The memo today was a blue out for the Rhode Island supporters as far as the Pulse is concerned. And it looks like just about everybody followed that instruction, well, except for the Hartford fans, of course. Dikwa laid it off when that was a chance to play it square into the middle by Stephen Turnbull. Hartford comes out with it. And they win a free kick.
It's a free kick. It's borderline yellow card. When you start pulling players back like that, referees tend to pull out a card. So lucky there, but of course that's the threat of the pace of Mishi and Galina. So quick if he gets going.
Hartford have 6 wins this season. Half of them have come when Mishi and Galina scores. There are 3 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws in games he's scored in this season. He has 7 goals and 2 assists.
Oh, it's back to Brendan Burke's point that it's 1 or 2 players who make things happen. And, you know, Deshane Beckford's got 3 goals, maybe needs a few more. But you look to the midfield, Beverly Makangila, nothing. Anderson Asiadu, nothing. Danny Barrera, nothing. You know, you've got to have a few goals from midfield. I'm not saying you should have double figures, but, you know, 4, 5, 6 is what you need from each midfield player. Right now, none of them have any.
Lovely reverse ball by Barrera, who actually ran into the referee. They both look to be okay. Beckford's then played into it. Beckford to the byline. And there's a collision. Did the ball go out of play? It did. In the end, the referee's given a goal kick to Rhode Island.
Lots of crowd participation in terms of how they feel about that decision. Hard to say, both players sort of bumping into each other. There's all the experience in that man there, Koke Vega's been there, done it, grew up in Spain playing at a very decent level. They've got some good players, Rhode Island.
USL Summer of Soccer continues on the CBS Sports Network. It's a Western Conference tilt. Top versus bottom, high-flying Sac Republic against El Paso Locomotive under new coach Wilmer Cabrera, looking to climb up the standings. It's August 14th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, and again, it's on CBS Sports Network. This falls kindly for Barrera. Ingalina, he tried to flick it in with the inside of his right boot, and he may have injured himself in the process.
Well, that's bad news for two reasons for Hartford. One, he'd been put through with a lovely ball from Danny Barrera, just what they were trying to create. A long ball out of defense. They picked up the second ball. Have a look, long ball out, gets knocked down. They pick up the second ball here. Danny Barrera head up. There's a run from Galina. Fantastic run, but that there, it's a waste of a great opportunity, but more importantly, probably, it's hopefully not a serious injury for their star player. Might just be more embarrassment that's keeping him down for a while, because he did all the hard work of getting in there and getting set up. And of course, it's not a grass surface, is it? It's a turf surface. That also takes a bit of getting used to.
I was going to say, Gary, there's a reason they call it the turf monster from time to time for moments like that. Looks like Ingalina's back up onto his feet, and hopefully from a Hartford point of view that he's able to continue at 100% here for Brendan Burke's bunch.
Most of the noise coming from the Hartford fans, the away fans, so good on them. Putting out the challenge to the Rhode Island fans to try and match the intensity.
That was flicked towards Dequa. A couple Rhode Island players saying there was a hold in there. Hartford have possession, but not for long. It's won back by Doyle, who gets knocked down. It's a free kick.
Yeah, referee so far not going into his pocket for a card, which is good to see. Giving players a little bit of leeway, but I think as it goes on, he might start to become a little more firm. Obviously, being a derby match, you know that tempers can flare very, very quickly. And as you mentioned earlier, the importance of the points for Hartford, because again, if they lose this here today, they would have to go on an incredible run to make the playoffs. So all these talented players, the door could virtually shut on them if they don't get something out of this match. Another, here we go. I thought it was going to come out eventually.
Yeah, it's Clay Holstead who gets the first yellow card of the derby for taking down Mishi and Galina in transition. That's not the first time Rhode Island have played that game.
Yeah, a little bit of a hand on the shoulder, which is not dissimilar to one about 5 minutes ago on the touchline that didn't get a yellow card. The referee just having had enough now of taking it easy on the players, so Clay Holstead will have to tread very warily from now on. But it just shows you the threat of Mishi and Galina and his pace. Rhode Island know that that's where the dangers come from. Him on the one side and Deshane Beckford on the right-hand side of the pitch.
A little bit of indecision, the Hartford back line. That'll force it to go all the way back to Ana Ribeiro. The ball is smashed up ahead, but Hartford get the second ball. It's a chance here. Barrera slides that through. Jang could be in. He cuts it back. And there's just one too many Rhode Island defenders able to recover, but Hartford will still get a corner out of it.
Yeah, it's that same idea. Knock a long ball, try and pick up the second, which they do there, and then run at them. It's especially with the likes of Barrera, try and get the ball through. Question about offside on Jang, but in the end there were just too many bodies around him. But it's working well. The long ball is working extremely well so far for Hartford.
Barrera from the corner. It's looped in there. Oh, that was headed by Jang, who thought he maybe could have done a little bit better with that. It goes wide of the target.
Yeah, Jang got himself a goal in the match against Birmingham last time out from a corner. Joey Apononu won the initial header and knocked it into the danger area. He finished it off. That time he couldn't supply the ball back into the danger area. But again, if you're Brendan Burke, you probably would have singled out, besides the long ball that's working well, you would have singled out set pieces as a good chance to get the much needed goal.
This is Quizera with a wonderful run. And it was touched towards goal by Mark Doyle. In the end, it was pretty comfortable in the end for Ribeiro.
It was just stretching Mark Doyle, but once again, Rhode Island doing so well to get into that box, to serve up decent opportunities. It's just a bit of a stretch. And in control, oh, good pressure.
Whoa, Ribeiro pulls a rabbit out of his hat to get past two Rhode Island defenders. My goodness.
Good pressure from Rhode Island, and the way they play out of it often, Hartford, is just the long ball forward, which, as we've said, seems to be working well for them when they need to do it. So two absolutely contrasting styles of play at this moment.
Ribeiro needed some quick thinking there to get Hartford out of trouble, and he was able to do that. Hartford get the throw, as we tell you to follow at Rhode Island FC on Instagram, TikTok, X, or Twitter as some may still call it, and Facebook. Stay up to date with everything RIFC.
There's a couple of chairs just behind where they got the throw in there, and I'm thinking if somebody tries to boot the ball clear and doesn't keep it low, you're going to take a big hit on those chairs. Very brave to be sitting there.
It's almost like the NBA courtside seats that you see at different venues around the country.
But I think basketball's a little bit different. You don't go,
Yeah.
you know, smashing the ball out of the basketball court the same way you would do in soccer.
Some players aren't the best at passing, Gary, I will say.
All right.
Corner here for Rhode Island. A chance to break the deadlock in this first half in the derby. Houston is setting this up. Referee halts it for a second. So maybe getting a little edgy inside the 18-yard box. And Joshua Encarnacion is our head official tonight. From the corner, Barrow's punch. It's laid off for the shot. Diving blocks from the Hartford players. Quizera back in. It's a chance to maybe volley it as well. And it's sent scorching past the goal from Grant Stoneman. And Hartford survive.
Yeah, good pressure again. Well done, the goalkeeper. Ribeiro came over the top of the maul and here wins the punch. A lot of bodies here. Doesn't get a great punch, but at least he wins it. And then the rest of the defenders just throw their body at that shot. Comes in here. Maybe just hit that too hard, Grant Stoneman. I think he was trying to get it across the face of the goal, but he lifted it. By the way, he actually had a shot that hit the crossbar a couple of games ago, and they followed up and scored from that. So that was Mark Doyle who scored the header against North Carolina from a wonderful shot by Grant Stoneman. So I'm not laughing at him anymore because he can create opportunities. That one, though, just got under the ball a touch.
Rhode Island win the ball back here. Harivo from Holstead. Turnbull assessing his options down this near side. Tries to spin past Ingalina. He's able to do so. And then he is going to be brought down by Tristan Hodge. It's a Rhode Island free kick.
Complains for a moment, Hodge, but I'm sure he's happy to walk away without any yellow cards, Tristan Hodge. Turnbull doing so well to turn in Galena and then run at Hodge here and just tempt him into a tackle. Doesn't get the ball. Gets the player instead, or if he does get the ball, he still gets the player. Either way, it's a free kick in a good position here for Rhode Island.
Holstead will place it. About to approach the half-an-hour mark in this first half at a packed Burns Stadium. A ton of dark blue, but also a lot of green in the crowd as well for this second edition of the derby between Rhode Island and Hartford. It's going to be set right towards goal, and Rhode Island leads! Headed home by Grant Stoneman. His first goal of the season is a derby goal, and Rhode Island jump out in front.
Yeah, I think it's been deserved. They've been on the front foot, the home side. But there goes the smoke as well. He gets up so well, Grant Stoneman. I'm just praising him a minute ago for the way he hit the crossbar and set up that winning goal against North Carolina. Well, this one, that's right behind his name this time. Fantastic header, stretches full to get the touch on it, just the right amount of touch. Whipped in there, gets up in front of his marker, gets on the end of it and just guides it into that far corner, giving Henan Ribeiro no chance whatsoever. Good free kick, beautifully weighted and bent in. A fantastic header from Grant Stoneman.
What a time to get on the score sheet for the first time this campaign. And all of the persistence early on for Rhode Island has led to the breakthrough. Hartford looked to respond at the other end, and Galena centrally. That gets headed away. Hodge tries to get it back to Ingalina, who couldn't keep his footing. That goal from Grant Stoneman, like all Rhode Island goals this season, presented by Capelli Sports.
Well, now Hartford have got a problem. 1-0 away with this fantastic crowd, home crowd they've got here at Burns Stadium. And what looks to me, as I said, a very, very good Rhode Island side with a wonderful midfield. This is a real battle. They did it last match against Birmingham. They went 2-0 down and showed great character. We're going to have to do it all over again here, Hartford.
Hartford get the free kick. Rhode Island's players not happy about it. Hodge will finally get it back into play. Well, we highlighted a bunch of attacking talent, but set pieces, anyone can get involved, and Grant Stoneman puts his name up in lights.
Well, he's got a goal this season now. Karifa Yao has got 1. Frank Nadase has got 4. Once again, you're getting goals from everywhere, which is not happening with the Hartford defenders. Not to the same degree anyway. I think just 1 goal from Joe Farrell is all they have from their defense.
It's going to be a Rhode Island free kick. Remember, Rhode Island scored first in the first meeting between these two. 20 minutes later, Hartford equalized. So we'll see if Hartford can bounce back. But like you said, Gary, the trouble is if Rhode Island can continue this momentum, they might be able to build their lead.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way at this stage. It's for Hartford to stop them. I just think they've got so much talent in this team, and it was brought together at the start of the season by Connor Smith and his coaching staff and front office. But now they're getting to know each other. They're getting to build their confidence.
Quisera's ball in. He was the one that picked out Stoneman on the goal. Rhode Island will get a throw in as it's knotted out of play. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com. The latest Select product specials and more. Select is the player's choice. It's thrown into the middle. Who was it last off of as it was knotted out of play? It's going to be a goal kick for Hartford.
So we're just saying about Rhode Island there is that this is an expansion team. This has all been put together. In the early days, we spoke to Connor Smith. They were struggling to get results. They were getting a few draws at home. The odd game. I think the first one they won, if my memory serves me correctly, was Las Vegas away. And they were really excited for their first win. But when they beat Lou City, what was it, 5-2?
Yeah.
Adlin Family Stadium, I think that's when the whole USL went, hang on a second. This is a really good team that Connor Smith's put together.
That was part of that 8-game unbeaten run that Indy ended last time out, as again Hartford are trying to find the equalizer here. It's a refresh for Hodge. Beckford, who switched sides here. Beckford cuts inside. Ooh, that wasn't far away, but it was wide of the target as Beckford tried to bend that into the far corner.
I think Danny Barrera tries to get a toe on this because Koke Vegas has got it covered. When he cuts inside, just have a look across the front there, diving header. And Danny Barrera just trying to deflect it more on towards goal. Koke Vegas has got that far post covered. No problem for the keeper.
Holstead leads Rhode Island up the other end, plays a wonderful ball out to the far side. It's laid off for Harivo, who arrives. Couple of step overs. It's Quizera who cuts it back. Into the middle it goes. It's helped along by Joe Farrell and cleared away. Harivo wins it back for Rhode Island. Quizera couldn't hold on to it himself. And that's going to be a free kick against Nodarse for holding up the play. Referee wants a word with him.
Yeah, you can't pick up the ball and take it with you. And he picked it up and immediately put it down because he realized he'd be in trouble. But once again, Rhode Island getting around that box, getting into the box. Little tricks, little, taking on players individually, looking very good when they're on the front foot. Just to prove how good Rhode Island have been in controlling this game, we've hardly spoken about Mamadou Jang. Look at him, he's running around, he's on his own up front. It's just that long ball that's worked well 2 or 3 times. They probably need to do it more, Hartford. Just knock it up long, aim for the big man up front, feed off the scraps, and get Danny Barrera trying to create from the second phase. But other than that, Jang's been on his own and hasn't had much service.
10 minutes plus stoppage time left in the half. Can Rhode Island add to their lead here? It's crossed into the middle. Looking for Dikwa. Beckford is able to get there just ahead of Turnbull. Can Hartford break up the other end? The answer is no, but it's going to be stopped here due to another Rhode Island foul.
And again on Ingalina, so I think he's asking the referee how many times must it be kicked before another yellow card comes out, but they're certainly keeping a very close eye on the Hartford danger man. Every time he gets the ball, there's bodies around Mishi Ingalina.
Referees talked to us earlier in the season about how if a specific player on a team gets fouled multiple times as a game moves along, referees keep that in mind as far as handing out cards. So we will have to look into that if it continues. Ingalina escapes that challenge. And his ball into the middle is really well placed. But the header is really missed in the end by Beckford, isn't it? On the doorstep, he couldn't keep it down.
That was a great cross. Absolutely brilliant from Ingalina. Bends it, it's got pace. Beckford's had to go back, but he's got up. I'm looking at that going, but you've got there, you've got your head in the right position. Just try and keep it down. I think that's a massive opportunity missed rather by Beckford there. One he should have tucked away. Wasn't too high for him. I didn't look it anyway. Looked like he was in the right position just to head that into that corner of the net and get his team back on level terms.
Three-match mini plans are now available. Secure your seat to 3 of Rhode Island FC's biggest matches this season. Get priority access to the 2025 season tickets. Just scan the QR code. Go to RhodeIslandFC.com right now. Brendan Burke talked to us a couple of times this season about not taking advantage of big opportunities in the attacking third. He can, unfortunately for him, add that one to the list. That was Hartford's best chance of the night.
Yeah, and they haven't had as many chances as Rhode Island's. When they come along, you've got to take them, you've got to bury them, and that's in the story. We did that slide up front. In the same period that Rhode Island scored 22 goals, Hartford had scored 8. Those are the chances when you're away from home and struggling. You've got to bury them.
Hartford have just scored 19 goals all season. Again, Rhode Island win the ball back. Another beautiful ball played up ahead by Clay Holstead. Doyle tried to get through. Farrell defends it well. There's time and space here. Hartford. Michi Galina using his pace. It's touched away from him, out for a corner for Hartford.
And that's the right thing for Galina to do. You want to get in the box, because once you're in the box, with his pace, you can easily mistime a tackle. And then it's a penalty. And there they defended well, Rhode Island, but they don't want to allow him to get into the box too often.
Danny Barrera, the longest tenured Hartford player. Can he pick out a teammate? It's right in the mix, but there's going to be a foul against Hartford there. I think that was Jordan Scarlett. It was a bit too overzealous. It's a free kick for the hosts. Get a chance to remind you that the USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
Just looking at the scoreline of 1-0, I think we have to say congrats to the US Women's National Team. 1-0 victory over Brazil today for the gold medal. Absolutely brilliant performance, and it's wonderful to see the women's team doing so well. Mel Swanson with a winning goal, and
no surprise there.
Oh, what a player. But what a forward line. Sophia Smith, Trinity Rodman. So congrats to the women. Done us proud here today.
Congrats to Emma Hayes as well. What an impact she's made as the new US Women's National Team head coach. She gets gold as well. Beckford. Lovely skill here. He keeps the ball, but still needs to find a space, get in behind. And it's followed up on here. He's rolling out for a corner. Might have been saved out for just a throw here, although the referee is going to make sure that the corner flag is where it needs to be. It is a Hartford throw. From the throw, it's headed right back out of play. Jang wanted that a little bit lower. It's going to go back to Rhode Island, deep in their own end here. Of course, Gary, we could also mention that the USL Super League is kicking off its inaugural Division I Professional Women's Soccer League in August. 8 teams around the country will begin playing on August 17th, and it's going to be on NBC's Peacock network, where you may have been watching the Olympics at times during these last few weeks. So just to piggyback on your earlier point.
May have been.
Fair enough.
Try and get away from watching it.
That's played back to Koke Vegas. Jang gives him a run for his money, but former San Diego goalkeeper clears. Harivo. And playing it in for Holstead. They've really done well in the midfield, those two, to this point. This is Dikwa. Ooh, miscommunication, but Harivo's there to clean it up. Haven't seen a ton yet from Albert Dikwa, apart from the early chance with the shot right in front of Ribeiro, or they both were injured for a brief moment. Jang's pressure forces that to go all the way back to Vegas.
Just important here for Rhode Island to get to halftime with this lead. Just see out the next couple of minutes. If they get a second one, of course, great, but don't want to give Hartford a chance to equalize before halftime. Keep it tight. Keep the pressure on, which they do really well.
RAFC family 4-packs are now available. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 drinks. 4 times the fun, just $20 per person. Go to RhodeIslandFC.com/tickets to learn more. There's a player down for Hartford as play is going to continue here. Right back up. So we'll flow right back into the action, although the Rhode Island fans let you know what they thought about that.
Well, it was his own player who threw the ball in. It wasn't like the opposition ignored him. His own player ignored him. Hartford, they just continued with Zhang lying on the ground. So clearly they didn't think it was much of an injury either.
Minute and a half plus stoppage time left in this first half. Stoneman's first goal of the season has Rhode Island ahead. Beckford with a searching ball into the middle. Nobody there to really attack it. Koke Vegas collects.
The idea was good from Deshane Beckford. He turns his defender really well, gets a couple of yards, looks into the box, but the ball's got to be closer to Zhang. You've got to give him a chance. It's got to be a quality ball that allows the big striker to get on the end of it. So the idea was really good from Deshane Beckford, but just the final pass just wasn't where it needed to be.
Fuson and Doyle pressuring Makingila. It comes off Doyle out for a goal kick. Both teams have created a really good chance. Rhode Island took theirs. Hartford didn't. One of the differences in this first 45 is Hodge is going to be the beneficiary of the challenge, I think, from Deekwa. Hartford Athletic have a late first half set piece opportunity here. Asiadu tried to float that up ahead. This is Zhang. Keeps possession. There's actually a second ball that's nearly on the pitch on that near side. That'll have to be taken care of. Sent out to the far side by Makingila. Ingalina with two on him. He gets plenty of attention. He's forced back. Looks like the fourth official put up 4 added minutes on the far side, and that is confirmed. A little 1-2 between Beckford and Hodge. Tristan Hodge back for Beckford. Beckford has it poked away from by Harivo, and that is going to roll out of play. Looks like it's going to be a corner.
Better from Hartford there, getting into the box, playing little balls into dangerous areas. Beckford nearly gets on the end of that pass there from Tristan Hodge. That's what you need to do. And they certainly are putting a little bit of pressure on Rhode Island here before the half-time break.
Can Hartford make something of this set-piece chance? Fizzed in there. Oh, it was a real opportunity at the back stick. Vegas flailed at it. I think it was Farrell who got the initial header. And it just fizzes past the far post.
Wow, that's a good opportunity for Hartford. Great flick on there from Joe Farrell. The far post nearly gets on the end of it there. And Koke Vegas is scrambling, but it's not his fault. You've got to win the header at the near post, and it's not won by Rhode Island. And it was a body thrown in there by Mamadou Zhang, the big man up front, and he was inches away from tapping that one into the far post.
And good signs from Hartford, but no end product. And now Rhode Island wins the ball back. Fuson loses out at the very end, tried to pass it into Deekwa. And Hartford had a brief moment there where it could have opened up. Another miscued touch by Ingalina. You don't see that very often, let alone twice in the same half. That'll stay with Rhode Island on the far side.
All that domination that Rhode Island had early in the match, and the moment they scored, it sort of began to fizzle out. And in fairness to Hartford, they've come back in the match, created 2 excellent goal-scoring chances, and probably should be level going into the break, given those chances they've had.
Well, Hartford pleading with the referee that was last off of Rhode Island, but the hosts get a corner. Just over a minute left in the half. Another important first half sequence here. Fuson to take for the hosts. Comes in at the near post. Jang gets his head to it. Then it's volleyed. Ooh. And ricochets back out of the penalty area. That was Holstead unleashing one. Fuson for Doyle. And Doyle's touch was a bit firm. Cleared out by Farrell.
We mentioned Claire Holstead's a great striker of the ball. He caught that volley beautifully. Well blocked by the Hartford defense. No rush from Hartford. They want to just see this over the line, get in the locker room if they can, with the score as is.
I think Wizera wanted a new ball, or maybe to use up some seconds.
probably be the latter, yeah.
From the throw, could be the last chance of the half. Oh, it was spilled by Ribeiro almost 2 times there, but he comes up with it in the end. And the referee says that's that for the end of the first half. I'll talk about a big impact from Grant Stoneman in that first half. His first goal of the season is a derby goal against Hartford. And Rhode Island has the 1-0 advantage despite some late flurries from the visitors.
Yeah, well done, Hartford. I think the last 10-15 minutes, they've had the chances. They could have got back level. Certainly Rhode Island started well for me, got into the box, Hartford's box a number of times and could have maybe scored more, but it's set up for a fantastic second half. Everything to fight for, including their playoff lives here, Hartford, in the next 45 minutes.
Well, both sets of fans, I should say, have certainly played their part in what's turning into a wonderful derby rematch here in Rhode Island. Grant Stoneman's goal has the hosts ahead. There's still a big 45 minutes to go, but halftime in Smithfield is next.
Hey, thanks for the backup.
When you make your play and things just go your way, that's a good play.
Since 1974, the Rhode Island Lottery has been a good play, awarding more than $57 billion to winning players, over $6 billion in commissions to local businesses, and over $8.8 billion to the general fund, supporting all of Rhode Island.
It's a really good play that can make your day.
The Rhode Island Lottery, a good play for Rhode Island for 50 years and counting.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
At Centerville Bank, we're rooting for your progress. From the everyday moments to the challenges you overcome, the little victories and the big wins. Because your progress is our purpose. Centerville Bank, progress on purpose.
Miller Lite tastes great. Let's fill it. Tastes great. Let's fill it. Tastes great. It is both. It is both. It is both. It is both. It's both.
Hey, thanks for the backup.
Derby Day in Rhode Island in the USL Championship. The hosts have a 1-0 lead over arch rivals Hartford Athletics. Second half's coming up in just a moment, but first, an update on Rhode Island's new home going forward, starting in 2025.
Dedicated Rhode Island FC fans and partners, thank you for joining us today to celebrate the final piece of structural steel being raised at the stadium at Tidewater Landing.
Stadiums, at their core, are gathering places. They bring communities together around a shared experience. These stadiums become a part of community, and the teams they host become a reflection of the community's culture and values.
Tidewater represents one of the largest and most significant private investments in our state's history.
This is the single largest private development investment in Rhode Island since the Industrial Revolution.
The Tidewater facility here is going to be second to none. It's going to be a premier gateway, a destination of Rhode Island, and a destination of Pawtucket.
This stadium, to me, will make us and take us to be one of the elite clubs and teams in our league, and hopefully a place that opponents hate to come. It's going to be windy, it's going to be breezy, it's going to be cold. We're going to be prepared for it. They're not.
All right, FC. Every single person here, whether you're involved in the project, here supporting soccer, here supporting Pawtucket, here supporting the openness of the riverfront, thank you. There are great things happening under the great leadership that you've heard here.
There's been a lot of doubters for this project. I won't mention names. There's been somebody that stopped me in public at the airport like, hey, coach, you know that stadium's not going to get built, right? I'm like, pretty sure I was there 2 weeks ago.
Certainly excited to see how that is going to progress going into next season. 1-0 here in Smithfield. Rhode Island has the lead over Hartford. We'll have plenty more from around the league coming up next.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes when we walk the past. We riding every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
New flavors. The same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador. Spiked Bebidas.
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
History is made in Rhode Island.
Congratulations, Rhode Island FC, for achieving the dream and making this a reality.
Rhode Island FC, the Ocean State's only professional soccer team, has kicked off its historic inaugural season.
This is going to be a spectacle to enjoy.
Rhode Island on the board!
Family 4-packs are now available starting at just $20 per person. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the action. Get your tickets today.
The future is bright for Rhode Island FC.
These fans are the winners of the seriously nice seat upgrade presented by Breeze Airways. Every match, 4 lucky fans are provided a premium matchday experience courtesy of Breeze Airways, a proud partner of Rhode Island FC. Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey, our entire crew, back here with you at the half as Rhode Island have the lead in the derby against Hartford Athletic. Let's look around the league with news and notes. Of course, one of the big stories, Gary. Frank Gallup no longer the coach at Monterey Bay. Jordan Stewart is in charge, trying to get the Seasiders back a little bit more firmly in the playoff positions.
Yeah, I think they're just hanging on to last place there in the West, and they decided that they needed fresh blood. Pity for Frank Gallup. He's such a successful coach over the years, but they just felt that a new approach. And you often do get a bump, don't you, when you bring in a new coach? Let's see if he can make a difference there at Monterey Bay.
Lynn Family Stadium will be hosting the gold medalists, the U.S. women's national team, for an international friendly against Argentina. That'll happen in October. And Dennis Sanchez is making a really good case for being the coach of the year for Las Vegas.
They're in such good form. They have a wonderful side. They play later tonight. They host Detroit, and Detroit's struggling, so it'll be a tough match for them. But you're quite right, Dennis Sanchez, and he built this team from scratch from February. Didn't have a single player ready to sign at that time, and they put it all together. So well done, Las Vegas Lights.
Could make it 11 matches unbeaten, which is just incredible. Home openers in the inaugural season of the USL Super League. Fun to see. Again, on August 17th and 18th are the main opening days. We'll see Carolina Ascent, Tampa Bay Sun, and Spokane hosting then. Then Brooklyn and Dallas will take center stage as it goes from August until September. For Lexington, DC Power, and of course Fort Lauderdale United as we get towards the end of September will all have their home opening matches, and we're excited to see how that league gets a kickstart here in the later month of August. Out-of-town scores, USL Championship, a 0-0 draw between Tulsa and Orange County yesterday, and still 0-0 at Highmark. We're keeping an eye on that one as well, but North Carolina and Charleston, Gary, have halftime leads.
That's a problem. North Carolina, if they go on to win that puts pressure on both these sides. Rhode Island will need to win this to stay ahead of them, or at least draw it. But for Hartford Athletic, the gap will increase even further should they not win here today. And Pittsburgh, if they manage to get a goal and pick up 3 points, even more bad news. So for Hartford Athletic, the pressure is ramping up big. This second half is massive for them.
Yeah, they'll certainly be rooting for the Western Conference teams in those two games, to say the least. And we got plenty more games to come later on tonight, of course, on ESPN2. Another blockbuster game, Louisville City taking on Sac Republic. Then we'll see Monterey Bay against Birmingham Legion. And of course on CBS Sports Golazo Network to end the night, the defending champions, Phoenix. They really could use a result against the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Yeah, they could. They've really struggled, and they're in danger of not making the playoffs. They've gone from champions to not even making the playoffs, and up against a Tampa Bay side that is a bit special and contains one of their former stars, Emmanuel Arteaga.
Another positive surprise as well, Loudon. They're on the road tonight. They'll try to get a result against Gavin Glinton's Oakland Roots, who have really turned things around over the last few months. So, ton of good action the rest of the night, even after our great game concludes here in Rhode Island. Connell Smith's side have the lead through Grant Stoneman. Get a chance to get you out to the second half coming up next.
Hey Providence, we're Breeze Airways, and we offer non-stop flights from Rhode Island's T.F. Green International Airport. We're redefining what it means to fly up front. This one's for you. Introducing Breeze Ascent, the newest, nicest way to fly. It's seriously comfortable, satisfying, and affordable. Book today at flybreeze.com and experience the nicest way to travel. Breeze Airways, seriously nice.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
At Centerville Bank, we're rooting for your progress. From the everyday moments to the challenges you overcome, the little victories, and the big wins. Because your progress is our purpose. Centerville Bank, progress on purpose.
When you make your play and things just go your way, that's a good play.
Since 1974, the Rhode Island Lottery has been a good play, awarding more than $57 billion to winning players, over $6 billion in commissions to local businesses, and over $8.8 billion to the general fund, supporting all of Rhode Island.
It's a really good play that can make your day.
The Rhode Island Lottery, a good play for Rhode Island for 50 years and counting.
Sean and Gary back here with you at the half. Let's look back at the first half highlights, and we begin with this chance from Albert Dikwa.
Yeah, it's a beautiful cross, well controlled, put in. Dikwa gets there first, but just Hedon Ribeiro closing him down, just forced him to take his eye off the ball, and it goes over. Then Ribeiro, great punch. This coming up here, blocked from Holstead, and they recycle it back into the far post, and it gets whacked across by Stoneman, and that one wasn't on target, but let me just tell you, there was one that was.
Yeah, Quizera met Stoneman's head in the middle, and he used his head to give Rhode Island the lead.
Yeah, lovely little slight deflection of the ball. It's all it needed just to redirect it into the corner, and then Hartford started to come alive. And here, Deshane Beckford cuts inside, has a shot. I think Barrera it is at the near post, tries to flick it on. He can just feel it's going wide. But now, here's the best chance of the lot. Ingalina out wide. He's been the troublemaker for his team the whole time. Puts it on Deshane Beckford's head, and he heads it over. That was a fantastic opportunity, and a near post flick on here. And Jang is inches away from scoring at the far post.
Hartford showing signs of life, but despite those opportunities, Gary, still no shots on target for Brendan Burke's side. Obviously, that will need to change. Rhode Island have had 2. They've scored 1.
Yeah, it's not always about shots on target. They've been close with a few other efforts, and they've created the opportunities. If you look at expected goals, they're slightly higher than Rhode Island, 0.71 to Rhode Island's 0.65. But yeah, they've got a lot of work to do to get through this very good Rhode Island midfield. But those long balls seem to work well. Knock it up high, pick up the knockdowns. They got some joy from that in the first half, did Hartford Athletic.
At home this season, for tonight, Rhode Island have played 10 home games. They've drawn 6, lost just the 2, but won only 2. They'll hope that their third one could be here in the Derby, as Hartford are trying to hunt down a second road win here in Rhode Island tonight. Grant Stoneman's goal has the hosts ahead in the Derby. The second half, we'll see the ball roll all the way over to Coque Vegas at a sold-out Burns Stadium in Smithfield, Rhode Island. We'll see if Hartford can take some of those chances that they created and move them into the second half and find the finishing touch. That'll be the key for Brendan Burke's side, and Rhode Island, in some ways, have to kind of refine their footing after they let it slip a little bit at the end of the first half.
They did, and I'm sure Connor Smith would have said to them, don't try and hold on to this lead. You've got to get to dominate the match again. Go and get a second. Let's not take this down to the wire at 1-0.
Barrera just tried to poke that along to get a little give and go inside the penalty area. Now Rhode Island with a chance to come up the other end. Doyle holds up the play for Holstead. First meeting between these two was at Hartford back in June. It finished 1-1. So there's yet to be a winner in this derby. Rhode Island ahead. Will hope that they will be the first ones to lay claim to that tonight. And again, the bigger story here is that if Rhode Island wins, they'll be 10 points clear of Hartford in the table. Here's Albert Dikwa striding forward. Quizera! Oh, brilliant ball played in, and it's headed wide by Doyle.
That's a great chance for Mark Doyle. He knows that he's got his head in his hands here. Lovely build-up on the left-hand side. Dikwa back to Quizera, but the ball from Quizera, he looks up, he knows what he wants to do, puts it on a plate there for Mark Doyle. Gets in front of his defender really well, Doyle. He does the hard part and just can't quite angle that ball onto frame.
They showed you some of those scores from around the USL Championship. We'll be keeping an eye on those as well as we get into the second half here. Pittsburgh, San Antonio, that's still 0-0. North Carolina leads against the Switchbacks, so those games can certainly impact both of these two teams' standings in the East.
As we were saying, it could be a nightmare for Hartford if they don't go on to get anything from this match, and Pittsburgh should win and North Carolina win. Then they're going to be so far off that final place in the playoffs that it would take just an incredible run to get them back up the table. So this really is, again, a massive 45 minutes coming up for Brendan Burke's side.
To your point, we're about a week or two away from getting down to single-digit games remaining in this USL Championship regular season, so time is of the essence. Quizera tried to pin another ball into the penalty area here. Referee blew the whistle. I wonder if the ball might have been handled as it was sent in. The referee's given Rhode Island a free kick here. Looks like it may have come off the arm of Younes Boudadi, who blocked the shot initially. So Rhode Island are given a free kick in a pretty good spot here. Quizera's service tonight has been really, really strong for Rhode Island. We'll see if he's the one that tries from this distance here. He'll actually let it go. Oh, it's fizzed in there, and it's 2-0! Frank Nodarse leads the Rhode Island celebrations. They've doubled their lead. And it's double trouble for Hartford in the derby. It's 2-0 to Rhode Island.
Yeah, it's another free kick, another great ball put into a danger area. Another centre-half gets on the end of it, this time Nodarse. First time around it was Stoneman. Look at this, whipped in, near post. But you know, they've lost in two very important headers here, have Hartford, in terms of defence. They've been punished for them on both occasions. Great timing of the run as well from Frank Nodarse. He comes from deep in the box, runs into that near post, isn't picked up. His run isn't picked up, and he gets the best of headers. All you got to do is slightly redirect it, and it flies past. Henan Abiro's got literally no chance in goal. Now they're 2-0 up, and now Hartford are really deep in trouble.
Frank Nodarse is now Rhode Island's second leading goal scorer, all by himself. It's his 5th goal of the campaign. And you said it, Gary. Hartford are down by 2 on the road again, and they'll have to muster up something special if they're going to get back in the derby here.
It's tough for them. It's great news for Rhode Island. If they keep this win, they're in 5th position in the table, just 3 points behind Indy 11 in 4th. So they jump right up. And Hartford then will be looking at how Pittsburgh do today in North Carolina, because if those two teams both win, there will be a massive gap of 7 points just from where they are to 10th position. Never mind a playoff spot in 8th. So wow, it really becomes a massive problem for Hartford if this result stays and the other results go against them.
There is an update from one of those other games. North Carolina has scored again. Evan Conway has made it 2-0. More bad news for Hartford as it stands right now.
Yeah, Hartford would be 7 points behind North Carolina, who themselves aren't even in a playoff place as it stands. They're 1 point behind Loudoun.
Time for Hartford to change it, but there's a lot they have to change down the stretch. Most notably, the score sheet.
Well, I just wonder if Brendan Burr's going to bring on 2 or 3 subs in the next 5 to 10 minutes just to freshen things up. Just try something different. Maybe Marcus Epps comes on, Marlon Hairston. Just players who might bring a different angle, a different approach that might bring joy.
That's going to be a pullback and a yellow card. Noah Fuson is going to be penalized, and he sees yellow for that.
Just wonder if it's necessary. And you lost the ball and you feel bad, but you can see coming across was Clay Holstead about to win that ball. Now you're on a yellow. Do anything wrong, second yellow, you're off, and now your team's struggling. You just this game could turn on something like a red card that could allow Hartford back into the match. So but be very careful, Noah Fuson. It's I would say, a cheap yellow to give away.
One quick note as well. Brendan Burke talked to the media along with us this week, and he talked about how Hartford set piece-wise defensively for the most part this season have been good. Well, they've not been very good tonight. Can they be good on the offensive end? It's a free header for Jang. It nearly fell for Hodge on the second attempt. Fuson leads the break for Rhode Island, and they'll have a chance here. Can they play the early ball for Doyle? Not quite. Fuson with a wonderful run to get back involved here. It's crossed again, falls for Fuson. Harivo recycles the play. Holstead and Rhode Island had a chance to go for the jugular there, but they're forced to recycle. Nodarse into space. Quizera. Held up by Budati. It's a Rhode Island corner.
Good play by Rhode Island. Just controlling the ball, getting into the opponent's half. Don't want to sit on the 2-0. At the same time, you want to force Hartford to now start taking some risks. And could they score from a third set piece? 2 free kicks, and funny enough, they've had a couple of chances themselves, Mamadou Jam. We just saw him a minute ago with a header that goes wide. He had one in the first half that he couldn't keep on target. In fact, the other header was the Shane Beckford, which was a great opportunity. So 3 headers they should have done more with and haven't in Hartford's case.
It's taken short for Harivo. Quizera lays it off, then it's bent towards the back stick. It's going to go out of play. It's a goal kick, as we tell you that Rhode Island FC are now accepting priority deposits for the 2025 season at the new stadium. Scan the QR code, or again, go to rhodeislandfc.com to secure your seat now. Frank Nodarse and Rhode Island have gotten their fans out of their seats. At the start of the second half, it's been a quiet away section so far for Hartford, at least in the second half. They were loud in the first half, but their team's been under siege here. It could be another chance. It could be a third. That's touched away by Farrell. Set right back in. Oh! Just wide. Rhode Island claiming a handball in there as well. Doyle and Digwa convinced it should have been a penalty. It's going to be a corner.
A great pressure coming from Rhode Island. Look at the pace here, trying to cut it back to Doyle, who was waiting. They recycle it immediately into the box. Win the header. It looks like it comes off a hand. Joe Farrell's hand, he pulls it back, but if the referee doesn't see it and he's not sure, he can't give it. That's just the situation. Without VAR, you can't call for it. Referee either sees it or doesn't. But we've still got a chance here at Rhode Island to put more pressure on Hartford.
Hartford Athletic are in the eye of the storm right now. Referee is calling Frank Nodarse over. This is away from the play. Not just him. I think there's a Hartford player. Yes, a Hartford player involved as well. Look at the goal scoring summary. Goals 20 minutes apart. Nodarse and Stoneman. As Macangila was also being talked to there.
Macangila's about a foot or two shorter than Nodarse, so good luck there.
Another set piece here. It's going to be volleyed off the bar. Oh, what a strike. But it's smashed off the frame by Stephen Turnbull. He's so unlucky.
If that goes in, that is one of the goals of the season. On the volley with so much power that had Ribeiro even got his hand to it, he probably couldn't have saved it. Brilliant little moment there from the home side. Look at that crossbar is still shaking. Stunning. They really are putting the screws on now, Rhode Island. We spoke first half about them really being a good side, talented, quality in every position. Well, now they're showing us just how good they are. And poor old Hartford are struggling to get on the front foot at all.
That would have brought the house down at Burns Stadium if Turnbull had found the back of the net there. Hartford, after they had momentum as well at the end of the first half, have just been trying to survive here in the second half. A wonderful start. These first 12 minutes from Rhode Island have been about as good as you could have asked for at halftime if you're Cano Smith.
I'm looking at this a bit further and thinking, if this team is good enough to go on and have a deep run into the playoffs, there's quality in every position, as we've said, and I think they're just growing in confidence as the season goes on. As they get to know each other, understand their roles and responsibilities.
Hartford briefly had an opening there, but Barrera couldn't find Beckford. Harivo leads the charge for Rhode Island up the other end, but he's looking for help, and Budati takes it off him. Asiadu on the turn. He uses the space to run ahead. Hartford just looking for some kind of a spark. Ingalita normally provides it. They'll get a throw in. Hartford were 2-0 down at Birmingham. They came back. Could they get a goal here to make it interesting? Jang, well, it wasn't a million miles away, but he just tried to flick it into the middle. And it goes out for a goal kick. I'll feel the heartbeat of Rhode Island FC with the RIFC Pulse. Scan the QR code or text 410-249-4857 to stay in the loop on all things Rhode Island FC with text alerts. Well, Hartford are going to make a change here. Marcus Epps, he's going to come on, and Danny Barrera's night is done.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the first of quite a few subs as he tries to freshen things up, Brendan Burke. Only problem is you bring on a striker for a midfielder, but it's a striker who scored 1 in 21 games, Marcus Epps. He needs to do better. If you're going to be a striker, you've got to be scoring close to 10, really, but 1 in 21 isn't good enough. Maybe today is his chance to show the manager that he can score the goals that his team require.
There was a foul there, and now Rhode Island are going to make a change here. Mark Doyle is going to come out as we approach the hour mark, and J.J. Williams is going to come on. Back-to-back subs with former Tulsa stars coming on for the respective teams. J.J. Williams has only scored once this season, but he does have 4 assists. That's one of the best marks on the team in that statistical category.
Thing is, he's alongside others who have scored a ton of goals. 6 for Dikwa, 4 for Fuson, 2 for Quizera, 3 for Herivo, 3 for Holstead. I can go on, 2 for Turnbull, and now 5 for Nodase.
It's going to be poked ahead for Quizera. Quizera back into the middle. It's touched to the outside. Herivo sends it over the top. I think Scarlett may have put him off.
God, he's hit that well, Herivo. That has absolutely flown like a rocket towards that top corner and just veered off. But again, they're putting on a show now, Rhode Island. It really is getting tougher and tougher for Hartford. I think their fans are... Well, that's what the fans are doing to try and deflect attention.
And those are the Hartford supporters setting off those fireworks.
Not so sure that's allowed, is it? And I wonder if security is rushing up to try and stop that from happening.
It is a derby, after all. Sometimes those things happen, unfortunately. Not that we condone them,
no.
Of course. Can't do that. Maybe a little sign of the fans' frustration for how this one's played out so far. Hartford doesn't need literal fireworks. They need fireworks on the pitch to get back into it.
This is true. This is true. The question is who's going to provide those fireworks? Connor Smith's got to be very happy at this stage. His plans are all coming together. What him and his coaching staff have put on paper at the start of the season, they must be looking at now and going, you know what? I like what I see.
That's touched ahead for Quizera, who's really shined tonight for Rhode Island. He cuts in field. Quizera, ooh, Holstead couldn't quite get the touch. J.J. Williams pokes it towards the goalkeeper, Ribeiro. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Going to roll out of play. So Rhode Island get the possession back, and Brendan Burke is going to make a couple more changes here Tristan Hodge and Anderson Asiadu are both going to exit here. We'll see Kyle Edwards and Emmanuel Samaria are both going to come on here, try and change the tide in the derby.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's just hoping that they can do something different. If they get one back, all of a sudden it changes the complexion. It always does in these situations. At 2-1, suddenly Hartford will feel they're back in the match. They've got a chance. It'll lift their confidence. That's what they're hoping that these substitutes can do. Just bring that little bit of life that gets them the goal to get back in this match.
It's played up ahead by Epps. And Harivo gets it to Williams. It's great hold-up play by J.J. Williams. Quizera again joins in on the attack. It's right back to Williams. He misses it. Oh, for a split second, Burns Stadium was about to erupt a third time. It's just wide.
That's a lovely move, isn't it? Quizera, his pace, he's been running at this Hartford defense all the time, but J.J. Williams, perfect timing, and he gets it over the keeper. He does the hard part in lifting it, but somehow bends it as he lifts it and just curls away from that far post. I've got to say, it's important. If you've only scored 1 in 21, you've got to take those chances. It was on a plate for him. He did everything right, chipped the ball, misses the target. He's got to do better, J.J. Williams, in those situations.
That goes out of play for a Hartford throw. Brendan Burke's side have just over 25 minutes plus stoppage time. Couple of huge chances late in the first half. Hartford, most notably Deshane Beckford's headed opportunity that he couldn't take as Budati, oh, he tried to slip that through. That was a good chance, but Rhode Island deal with it. Referee lets play continue here, and Holstead, great hustle to get on the end of this. Holstead tried to shoot. Williams was arriving as well. Ribeiro saves. It's out for a corner.
Great counter-attack football as a yellow card is given for that late tackle on Dikwa by Joe Farrell. Wonderful play. Holstead, I just wondered if he was going to go and chip the keeper. He said he goes near post here with the outside of his right foot. Well read by Henan Ribeiro. But just in the counter-attack, they're becoming devastating at the moment, Rhode Island. They're opening up Hartford, who are having to take more and more risks. And there's a danger here of this becoming a 3 or 4-0 rout if this continues.
Corner kicks have been Rhode Island's calling card tonight. This is Holstead. That's going to go out of play. There's the confirmation of the Farrell booking. Good refereeing. Waited till the end of the sequence to go to the pocket.
It was a late tackle as Dikwa was just passing the ball, gets rid of it. Well, to be fair, actually, Joey Farrell probably gets a little bit of the ball, but he gets the man as well. And as we've said time and time again, endangering the opponent gets you a free kick, maybe even a yellow card. So it's not just enough to win the ball. By the way, there is one player who's desperate to get on this pitch, and that, of course, is Connor McGlynn, former Hartford man's on the bench. Second most time with Hartford behind Pereira.
Just about to say, he was a fan favorite with Hartford as well during his time there. It's a decent touch by Kyle Edwards. But again, Rhode Island are able to put out that fire. Makangila. He spreads it out to this near side. It's flicked on by Budati. Ingalina will give chase. Ingalina cuts it back. Nothing doing. Referee allows play to continue. Ingalina stays down. And Hartford will stop the play there, and they'll concede the throw. Ingalina still in discomfort.
Yeah, he's taking a few knocks tonight. Quizera just gives the young fans a bit of a high five. I think that's where they're at, Rhode Island. They know they've got this match under control. They've been playing so well. Of course, they can still go pear-shaped. They've got to do their work in the remaining 22 or so minutes. I think they're feeling the confidence. They just know they're in a good place. Other than their last match, it was 8 undefeated before that, and they made 6 changes going into that last match away at Indy. So the strong side, the side they have out today, They know that they are a very, very good side, and they've proven it once again.
And Cano Smith said he wanted to save his best lineup for this game, and so far, it's paid big dividends.
Certainly has. As we try and keep an eye on those other two results to see how that's going to impact Hartford, because if North Carolina and Pittsburgh win, they're going to be in all sorts of trouble.
Colorado Springs did get a goal back. It's 2-1. About 20 minutes to go in North Carolina. Still 0-0 between Pittsburgh and San Antonio. That one is about to go final, barring a late bit of drama at Highmark. Rhode Island trying to put the derby to bed here with just over 20 minutes to play. They will get a free kick. And a yellow card comes out. Samadia is going to be yellow carded and have his name taken.
That's a late tackle. Doesn't get the ball there. I don't know if it's worthy of a yellow. It's a mistimed tackle. That's all it is. But referee's decision is final in these matters. And something Rhode Island have to avoid here is getting involved in you know, sort of a push and shove and a fight and yellow cards everywhere, and it impacts them in games to come. You know Hartford are going to be upset. You just got to keep a lid on it, calm it down, see out the remaining 20 minutes.
A little surprised to see Quizera leave the ball there. He's been so good on these tonight. But Holstead's pretty darn good himself. He tries to find Williams. Could be headed out. Harivo lets it fly. Good save by Ribeiro. Hartford complaining over how that developed. It's going to be a corner upcoming.
I think Ribeiro went to catch that and it sort of slipped out of his hands, but he had his hands in the good enough position that if it didn't stick, it was just going to go wide. Lovely volley again. Harivo, absolutely top class there. Good play, good pressure. Yeah, they're all pumped up, these players, because they know they're putting Hartford under immense pressure.
Just under 20 minutes of the 90 left. Quizera will take the corner. Rhode Island in search of a dagger. It's right at goal. It's headed out for Holstead. Everyone's giving it a shot from the edge of the penalty area. My goodness.
It's getting like shooting practice now.
It's a goal kick. Remember to follow at Rhode Island FC on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, the whole deal to stay up to date. Everything RIFC. Sure, they'll be posting some of the clips from the goals tonight on social media. As it looks like Rhode Island have taken out Stephen Turnbull. And it's going to be the former Pittsburgh man, Mark Ibarra, who's going to come on to take his place as this is taken away. Harivo, I should say, plays it square. It's Ibarra's first touch. He plays it out to the far side, and it's going to come off of Holstead, off the ricochet. That's a Hartford goal kick.
What's so impressive about Rhode Island is since they went 2-0 up, they haven't sat back. They've actually thrown more bodies forward, created more opportunities in that period than probably any other period. And it just shows the attitude of the team, not to try and defend the lead, but they've got confidence in themselves to keep going forward, keep pressuring Hartford. The high presses work so well. Here they go again, and they've got turnover ball yet again. Well done, Rhode Island.
Played in for Dequa. Good step defensively, and now Hartford try to turn that into something here. And Galena comes back to retrieve. Plays it up ahead. Budati. And Rhode Island, ooh, Hartford looking for a penalty there as Rhode Island tried to clear that. That was Kyle Edwards going down. Rhode Island more convinced that it was a possible mode of simulation than anything else. But Hartford get right back onto the ball. This is Deshane Beckford down the far side. Beckford can be clever, and he's going to let one go. Good save in the end, and, well, maybe more comfortable than it would have looked initially from Koke Vegas.
Yeah, it's a decent strike, but as you say, goalkeeper behind it. Hasn't had much to do, Koke Vegas, so probably happy to make a save. Let's have a look at this challenge here. No, that's not enough for me. But, you know, it's at least he's got in the box, Kyle Edwards. There's been so little of that from. There was a couple of moments before half-time And I think Shane Beckford got in the box and maybe Misha and Galina. But other than that, they haven't had players who've got in there and caused problems. So good to see Kyle Edwards at least trying to make something happen.
Kyle Edwards plays for St. Vincent and the Grenadines internationally. Actually played in some CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers earlier in the summer for his country. That goes down as Hartford Athletics' first shot on target. That attempt from Shane Beckford.
Wow. Look, they've had a couple of others that have been off target, but with very good chances. But nonetheless, you can see 17 shots to 6, 5 on target to 1. The stats just show you that Hartford haven't done enough. And again, we talk about the last 9 away games, 1 point out of 27.
Digwa into the middle. We really tiptoed the byline there. Couldn't find anybody in blue. And Hartford, well, they just can't get it going up the other end at the moment. It's out of play, just past Galina.
Again, just to finish that thought, one point out of 27 on the road. And if this result holds, it'll be 1 point from 30 on the road. Yeah, there's definitely something not right there. Brendan Burke's been so successful at Colorado Springs. He knows what it takes to make a winning team. So it must be incredibly frustrating for him to not be able to get this current side to perform the way his Colorado Springs team was so successful. I think it was back-to-back playoff that he got to with that team and went very far in the playoffs as well.
He got to a Western Conference final the year San Antonio ended up becoming champions a few years back. They beat the Switchbacks in that Western Conference final tilt. Many of these Hartford players have played for Brendan Burke, of course, at the Switchbacks during those runs. Galina, Makangila, and others.
Beckford?
Yep, exactly. Edwards pushing a chase. Jang tries to help out. Just takes one moment for Hartford to maybe get some belief, and maybe this could be the opportunity. They get a free kick with 15 minutes left. Oh, and one too many words spoken to the referee there. That's going to be a yellow card picked up. And that's going to be Karifa Yao, who has his name taken for dissent.
An unnecessary yellow card. Yes, you're annoyed, but there's ways in which you can appeal to the referee without getting a yellow card. You know, the hands up, the pleading look. Don't get in his face and start shouting, and look at this. It's the aggressive nature of it. It's going to get you a yellow card every single time.
And also, he threw the ball away. That tends to be another thing that referees look for in that situation.
In-game management, a lot of football IQ, a lot of people just think it's about, can you kick a ball, can you save the ball? There's a lot of other stuff that goes on, as it does in every sport. And just keeping your emotions under control, not getting unnecessary yellow cards is important.
From the free kick, oh, it was knotted on. Hartford tried to keep it alive. It couldn't fall in the end for Galina. That was a critical touch away from him as he arrived onto it. Harivo is going to be tripped up, and that is a yellow card, I believe, for Younes Boudadi.
There's no question about that. As I said, it's likely to get a bit nasty. As I said 10 minutes ago, you know that Hartford are going to be upset, annoyed. They're going to do those sort of things. You just got to let it happen, let the referee deal with it, keep your cool, and leave it, you know, just leave it, let it be. You've got the win, you've got the 3 points. Just don't get involved. And I think that's what they're whispering in Harivo's ear there. Just keep it cool. Don't take the bait, so to speak. Easier said than done. Trust me, when you're in those situations, what you want to do is chase the other person and get even. But that's what football IQ and sports IQ in general is all about. In the heat of the moment, just doing the sensible thing, the thing that benefits you and your team most.
Especially in heated rivalry games, how many times do we see teams succumb to those moments and it costs them in a big game such as this? It's going to be headed out. That's a Hartford throw on the far side, but Brendan Burke's side are starting to run out of time here in the derby.
Yeah, their fans behind this goal have had a tough game of it, and I was just thinking 80 miles back in cars and a coach having, you know, assuming the Shemaine's 2-0. It's not going to be a fun trip. It never is when you lose and you've been on the road. It's when you're at home, you can just get home quickly and put something else on television. But when you've got an 80-mile journey, not fun.
And unfortunately, a few of them might have a little bit of a detour due to those fireworks that we saw earlier before they get back to Connecticut. 3-match mini plans are now available. Secure your seat to 3 of Rhode Island FC's biggest matches this season and get priority access to the 2025 season tickets at the new stadium as well. Scan the QR code and go to RhodeIslandFC.com now. Can Hartford find something here? And Galena again is going to be stood up. It's a goal kick, and Rhode Island continue to march towards a Derby Day win.
Courtesy of their 2 centre-backs, or 2 of their 3 centre-backs, Frank Nadase and Grant Stoneman. Like I said, it's a team game in that sense. Yes, you expect Albert Dikwa and JJ Williams, Kazira, Fuson, and the rest of them to score goals as they are the main strike force. But when the centre-backs can come in and chip in important goals on a day like today, you'll take that. Absolutely.
Quizera got the assist on the first goal. He's up to 3 on the season. Fuson got the assist on the second goal. He now has 6 assists for Rhode Island this season. So he continues to make his mark for Cano Smith's bunch. Here comes Hartford up the other end. This is Edwards for Beckford. Can Beckford find the angle? He actually places a really good ball in. No, Darce is there. That's a huge header for Rhode Island.
That's a great defensive header because Jang was just waiting behind the defender to head that into the net.
Hartford can replenish the possession here. Galena. Going to be forced back in the end. Makangila floats it out to the far side. 10 minutes plus stoppage time left. And then the pass ahead from Samaria was cut out. Epps wins it back for Hartford, but only for a moment. Samaria into the middle. Vegas doesn't quite get to it. He helped it along. Galena looks for space for the shot. He goes down. Referee had a look. Nothing doing. And Rhode Island just about get it up the line. It stays in for Budati, who gets past Williams, nearly got past a second. And then Rhode Island finally clear it with Quizera. And the battle continues here. Dikwa has to help it along, and he's fouled.
Tell you what, Koke Vegas did ever so well. He didn't get a full hand on this, but he got enough to stop the header from going in. Have a look. If the keeper doesn't come, that's the header for Jang, unmarked. And he just gets enough on it. And the defenders do a great job here. In fact, it was JJ Williams coming back doing a great job defending. But look, Koke Vegas just has to stretch out, you know, Superman style, get that one fist there and just gets a contact on the ball.
3 changes upcoming here for Rhode Island. Colin Smith, Morris Duggan, and Joe Brito are all coming on. Grant Stoneman, Noah Fuson, and Zach Harivo all coming out in one foul swoop. For Cano Smith's group, Morris Duggan's a player they just got yesterday on loan from Minnesota United in MLS, where he's played in 3 different competitions this season, and Cano Smith hopes he'll be very helpful to the stretch run. He makes his Rhode Island debut during that triple change. That's floated over the top. It's JJ Williams who looks for the angle. He's going to get the shot away, but it goes wide. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. It's free to download and free to play, so download it now. Quizera into the middle. Did he keep that in play initially? The assistant says no. It's a goal kick. Just ran over the end line before he crossed it into the middle.
Wow, the chances have come thick and fast second half for Rhode Island. How they haven't got more, I mean, it could easily be 4 or 5 that they've scored here today. Really have been so creative, so positive, running at the defense. Quazera, absolutely superb.
Beckford gets some help from Edwards to keep the possession with Hartford, but it's won right back by Joe Brito. You said it earlier, Gary, the live table, Rhode Island sees this out. They'll jump from 8th to 5th, just 3 points behind Indy, who sit in 4th place. They're only there because they beat Rhode Island earlier this week, and Hartford would be in 11th, and they'd be 8 points out of the final playoff spot, and that's in the live table. Loudoun would be sitting in 8th. At the conclusion of at least this match, remember there's more action to come throughout the night involving many teams in and around the playoff line, including Loudoun United, of course. Pittsburgh only got the 1 point against San Antonio. That finished 0-0 at Highmark. So a little bit of a missed opportunity there for Bob Lilly's group, that's for sure. Hartford wanted a free kick there. Beckford thought he was brought down unfairly. Rhode Island had the possession. Ball's played up ahead, looking for Dequa. Well, the battle continued on this near side, and Ibarra plays it ahead. Dequa on the turn in field. Quizera from Holstead. Williams could not stay on side. And Hartford are down to their final 5 minutes, and they have a player down as well. Joe Farrell always gives it all for his club, but been in some discomfort here. He's back up onto his feet. RIFC family 4-packs are still available. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 drinks, and 4 times the fun. Just $20 per person. RhodeIslandFC.com/tickets is the place to go to learn more about that. Goals from Stoneman and No Darcy have Rhode Island on the verge of claiming a first ever win for either side in the derby.
Yeah, this is all about just focusing here for Rhode Island. You want to keep that clean sheet. That's also part of your confidence building process, not giving the opposition anything. To win this 2-0 will be just the perfect day for Connor Smith and the entire team. And to be fair, as I said, it could have been 3 or 4 goals very easily. They've been so good up front. They've been creative. They've had shots thump across the crossbar, flash across the goals, and they've limited Hartford to really 2 or 3 chances only in the entire match.
Samadia's ball into the penalty area is blocked out. It's a Hartford throw. And Hartford are going to make another change, it looks like here. Thomas Van Kazeel is going to come on. And well, we just saw Farrell dealing with a bit of an issue a moment ago. His night will end there. Rhode Island will get a chance to clear this away. It's only out for a throw off the boot of Colin Smith. Hartford could still make it interesting here. Can they grab a late goal? Or will Connor Smith's side right off into the sunset with the 3 derby points?
Well, you're right, a goal now and there's still a chance, but the clock is just ticking down. And just not creating the chances. If the ball was whizzing across the sort of goal mouth, you'd say, well, maybe something could go in, but Rhode Island are doing a really, really good job of just not allowing them to create a good chance. Look at the pressure here. Throughout this match, Rhode Island have high pressed really well, and now, although they're in a deeper block, they're still pressing and making it so difficult for Hartford to get any time on the ball.
Epps. And Kazeel. It's congested in front of him. He bends it off to this near side. Nice touch by Budati. It's a collision. It's also going to be a goal kick for Rhode Island.
Budati got injured off the pitch and has managed to roll back on the pitch. I don't know if he was hoping for a penalty, but the referee doesn't seem in the least bit interested. Let's have a look here. Yeah, they both go for the ball at the same time. Crozera and Budati. But in the end, neither gets to the ball, just rolls over the line. He just rolls back on the pitch. That enforces the referee to give treatment on the pitch to slow the game down. And of course, normally if there's VAR, it would force VAR to have a look at a potential penalty, but there isn't VAR, and the referee had made his decision already.
Holstead out wide for Smith. Smith on the run. Oh, it was a little flick from Williams to try to get it back to him. But it's Ribeiro who gets it back into Hartford possession. Hartford are going to need a big chunk of stoppage time if they're going to have any hope late here. It's starting to become a party-like atmosphere at Burns Stadium. It's been like that a little bit in the second half already.
Hopefully a party without any more fireworks. Given how many people are all packed together, it'd be rather dangerous.
4 added minutes left. Dikwa into the middle. There it is, the finishing touch. Game, set, and match to Rhode Island. Joe Brito finishes off a Rhode Island derby win.
Yeah, it's well deserved. They've created a ton of chances second half. So many similar to this, building up and getting into the box. But Dikwa doing great here. Heads it, gets past his defender, head up, looks and finds Brito, who just beats Samaria to get to the ball. Great running by Brito on fresh legs, but just have a look at Albert Dikwa and the work he does to get this ball past the defender and then cut it back. Top class, well deserved. It's put a bow on a fantastic performance for Rhode Island here. And again for Hartford, just another tough day at the office.
Second goal of the season for Brito. And Rhode Island have hit dreamland in the derby. 3-0 up with under 3 minutes to play. In the end, it's pretty much the perfect night for Cano Smith's group in the derby rematch. Epps cuts inside for Hartford, and it's well fielded on the bounce by Vegas.
I don't think it was a shot. I think it was bent in for Zhang to get on the end of, and it just didn't. It was just a little bit ahead of Zhang. Couldn't quite get there. But at least it's positive from Hartford. We haven't seen enough decent balls into the box, enough opportunities, enough players running in the box. It's got better towards the end, but they were 2-0 down before they created chances. That one, a little bit of a hit and hope shot there, but we're not going to be critical when you're 3-0 up at home with a minute or so left. Yeah, have a shot from there, who cares?
That would have rubbed a little bit of salt in it at the end.
Just a bit. There are the home fans loving the moment. I'm assuming the Hartford fans have probably streamed out by now, getting in their coach and their bus, heading for home already.
Nodarse, who's already scored. He's got more space to work with, Nodarse, and he's going to settle for the corner. Well, and to your point as well, Gary, We're going to have a lot more of these in years to come. Both teams have provided us great atmospheres in the first two derby meetings between these two clubs. Can't wait for more of these in the years that follow.
Oh, absolutely. And it's very common in Europe, obviously, to have local derbies that means so much to the fans. And as you say, this is one of the few in the States, given how big the States is. But yeah, look forward to many big clashes between these two sides.
Final 40 seconds here as Burns Stadium is about to celebrate a huge victory. Just be Rhode Island's third at home this season.
Just to mention, North Carolina a 3-1 up in the 90th minute, so I think you can take that as a given that they have those 3 points. And that means Hartford are now 5 points behind Pittsburgh in 10th spot, but more importantly 8 points behind Loudoun, who occupy the final playoff position. 8 points to make up with 12 games to go. Wow, that's a big ask.
It's going to be a goal kick for Rhode Island with a player down here as the 4 minutes are up. Darcy is helped to his feet. Referee checks the watch. And that is that. Rhode Island rule the day in the derby. They claim the first victory in the derby as they take care of their rivals Hartford by 3-0 after a wonderful derby rematch here at Burns Stadium in Smithfield, Rhode Island. 3 different goal scorers along the way. Stoneman, Darcy, and Brito are among the heroes for Rhode Island. They're in 5th place in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. Hartford stay in 11th, and Frank Nodarce is our man of the match after a memorable Rhode Island win.
Yeah, he gets a second goal from the free kick, but he also is a big part, along with Grant Stoneman and the others, of keeping the clean sheet at the other end. Grant Stoneman also got a goal. So when you can keep a clean sheet and get down the other end and score goals, well, no wonder he was chosen as man of the match.
They will be partying here in Rhode Island, you'd think, long into the evening. They beat Hartford by 3-0 in the derby. We'll take a break, and we will wrap this one up next.
Hey, thanks for the backup.
When you make your play and things just go your way, that's a good play.
Since 1974, the Rhode Island Lottery has been a good play, awarding more than $57 billion to winning players, over $6 billion in commissions to local businesses, and over $8.8 billion to the general fund, supporting all of Rhode Island.
It's a really good play that can make your day.
The Rhode Island Lottery, a good play for Rhode Island for 50 years and counting.
Hey Providence, we're Breeze Airways, and we offer non-stop flights from Rhode Island's T.F. Green International Airport. We're redefining what it means to fly up front. This one's for you. Introducing Breeze Ascent, the newest, nicest way to fly. It's seriously comfortable, satisfying, and affordable. Book today at flybreeze.com and experience the nicest way to travel. Breeze Airways, seriously nice.
Miller Lite tastes great. Let's fill it. Tastes great. Let's fill it. Tastes great. It is both. It is both. It is both. It is both. It's both.
Hey, thanks for the backup.
Final score is presented by High Bar Physical Therapy, the official physical therapy partner of RIFC. Visit highbarhealth.com today to begin your journey to feeling better, moving freely, and living fully. Rhode Island are going to be living pretty full tonight. 3 points and a 3-0 win in the derby over Hartford Athletic. Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey here with you. Let's go through the full-time highlights, and we begin with Grant Stoneman's first goal of the season.
Yeah, fantastic ball in from Quizera from the free kick, but Grant Stoneman doing brilliant just to get the faintest of touches on that ball, and it was almost like what is it, wash, rinse and repeat. Because you get another centre-half, Frank Nadasa, going up, a different attacker in Fusen, but the same free kick whipped in near post. Great touch.
That was the energy play of the match, presented by Rhode Island Energy. It really fueled Rhode Island the rest of the way, although they did need a big save, presented by Centerville Bank. Make progress towards your goals with Centerville Bank, official bank partner of Rhode Island FC. The save here from Vegas.
Does well, moves his feet across, hands behind the ball, gathers it in. Didn't have much to do, Koke Vegas, but solid goalkeeper at the back. And then, as they say, put a ribbon on it. Albert Dikwa just gets past his defender, head up, sees Brito coming in. Brito with a great run there, tucks in it for the third. And I think well-deserved. They really were fabulous second half, Rhode Island.
Third assist for Dikwa on the season, second goal for Brito. Game, set, and match. Rhode Island began the night, Gary, in 8th. They jump up to 5th, and Hartford are now 8 points out of the final playoff spot. Loudon also has a game in hand on them. They sit in 11th.
Yeah, Detroit has a game in hand as well. It's tough, Hartford, but not just the points behind. They didn't play well enough, and it's been a problem. Last 10 games on the road, 1 point out of 30. They've got to turn things around somehow. Maybe their home form has to come good, but they have a mountain to climb now to make the playoffs.
Now, it really was a wonderful derby spectacle. Both sets of fans really made the occasion special here tonight in Smithfield, Rhode Island. But it's Cotto Smith's side with the high fives and the goals required to take home the points for the first ever win in the derby for Rhode Island FC. They take it by 3-0. For Gary Bailey and our entire crew, we hope you enjoyed it. I'm Sean St. Jacques. We say so long from Rhode Island. Cotto Smith and Rhode Island rule the day in the derby with a 3-0 win.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.